Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of the TV Tray Sessions here at Guitar Talk with Todd at Todd Beebe Music. Thank you all for checking in and joining me today. We have another awesome piece of music memorabilia. This is a great Les Paul piece. This is a letter on Les Paul stationery that Les Paul and Mary Ford, mailed out to a disc jockey in the 1950s, actually December 27th, 1950. So 2 days after Christmas. And back in the day, keep in mind, this is before rock and roll. This is 1950, or before the official term rock and roll, I should say. They were rock stars, Les and Mary, literally. Les Paul, Mary Ford, husband and wife duo. Mary Ford's real name was Colleen Summers, and Les had the idea to call her Mary Ford. And boy, they took off like a rocket ship, and they had such huge hits. Just read a couple of things here that are online about them as official statements. Les Paul and Mary Ford were a popular 1950s husband and wife musical duo who performed and recorded during 1950 to 1963. They both sang and played guitar. In fact, there was a Mary Ford model guitar. Subscribe to my channel. We're going to feature one of those coming up. Recently, Gibson has reintroduced that model. This is being recorded in 2025, but we're actually going to feature one of the original reissues that came out in the 1990s. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. Anyway, to continue on here, Les Paul and Mary Ford were music superstars during the first half of the 50s, putting out 28 hits for Capitol Records between 1950 and 1957, including Tiger Rag, Via Con Dios, which spent 11 weeks at number one, Mockingbird Hill, How High the Moon, Bye Bye Blues, and The World is Waiting for the Sunrise. The couple were introduced to each other by Gene Autry in 1945 and were married on December 29th, 1949. They first appeared in the pop charts in 1950. Between the years 1950 and 54, Les and Mary had 16 top 10 hits. They had 5 top 10 hits within 9 months: Tennessee Waltz, Mockingbird Hill, How High the Moon, The World is Waiting for the Sunrise, and Whispering. From August of 52 to March of 1953, they had 5 more top 10 hits: My Baby's Coming Home, Lady of Spain, Bye Bye Blues, I'm Sitting on Top of the World, and Via Con Dios. Their 1954 version of I'm a Fool to Care went to number 6 and was featured in a memorable Southern Comfort commercial in 2013 that got over 1 million views on YouTube. They were inducted into the Hit Parade Hall of Fame in 2009. Paul and Ford are famous for creating a makeshift recording studio in their garage. We actually have some equipment from that garage that's going to be featured on this channel as well. So again, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. In their garage studio, they used multi-track recording to record many of their hits, including Lover, Nola, Brazil, and Whispering, with only the 2 of them. The duo have a star at 1541 Vine Street in the recording section of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Les and Mary had their radio and television programs. Paul had hosted a 15-minute radio show, The Les Paul Show, on NBC in 1950, featuring his trio and his electronics, recorded from their home and with gentle humor between Paul and Ford, bridging musical selections, some of which had already been successful on records, some of which anticipated the couple's recordings, and many of which presented dazzling reinterpretations of such jazz and pop selections as In the Mood, Little Rock Getaway, Brazil, and Tiger Rag. Several recordings of these shows survive among old-time radio collectors today. The show also appeared on television a few years later with the same format, but excluding the trio, and retitled The Les Paul and Mary Ford Show, also known as Les Paul and Mary Ford at Home, with Via Con Dios as a theme song. Sponsored by Warner Lambert's Listerine, it was highly syndicated during 54 to 55 and was only 5 minutes long, with 1 or 2 songs on film, and therefore used as a brief interlude or fill-in on programming schedules. Since Les created the entire show himself, including audio and video, he maintained the original recordings and was in the process of restoring them to up-to-date quality at the time of his death. So yeah, many of you know that I was fortunate enough to be around Les many, many times. He passed away on August 12th of 2009. Connie and I respectfully attended Les's wake and funeral, which took place in Milwaukee and Waukesha, Wisconsin in 2009. Les was always super cool to me. I had so many times to just ask him questions and sit down with him. Connie and I, on our honeymoon, actually went to see Les, and we went over to the Iridium nightclub in New York City to watch him play, and it was just a great night. We sat right in the front row. They put us there, and the whole place cleared out. Les let us stay there and stick around with them, and we just sat at a table talking to him, took some great pictures, and many times before that, I was around Les as well, so it was really cool to get to ask him things about like the Gibson SG, which ultimately started out as the Les Paul and then became the SG. And Les originally did not like that shape of guitar, and he actually told me in his own words I was wrong. Years later, he did warm up to the SG and he was okay with it, but it's pretty much publicly known at this point that he did not like it when it originally came out, for sure, because it was a whole different concept and a whole different body shape than the original Les Paul, obviously. But that's a whole other topic, and we do talk about that many times in some of my guitar reviews. So again, check out the playlist of Gibson Les Pauls. And we have a couple original SG Les Paul Juniors from 1961 that we featured on this channel. So go ahead and check those out. And please hit that subscribe button. But anyways, getting back to this stationery, I'll read you this here. It was delivered to Douglas Oliver at station KFSD in San Diego, California. And this was sent from Les Paul's headquarters at 1514 North Curson, Hollywood 46, on December 27th of 1950. And the letter reads, "Hi, Doug. Heard you this AM playing our record of Little Rock Getaway, and Mary and I decided to call you. Franklin, 6353, but no answer. Next best, we're saying hello by letter. I guess this is the right thing to do. Keep the old friends and maybe find a few new ones. Doug, sincerely, thanks for the plug. If you're ever in LA, look us up. We'll do the same when in your town. You're 19, close to 51 friends, Les Paul and Mary Ford." So from what I understand about this type of thing, these actually are Les Paul and Mary Ford's real signatures, and what they would do is sign these. I kind of talked to Les a little bit about this as well, and he said they weren't big on using like stamps and that type of thing, which came later on, but what they would do is this was blank stationery, and they would just sign down at the bottom. So there was a ton of these that they would just Les Paul, Mary Ford, Les Paul, Mary Ford. They would both sign it, and then they had just stacks of these laying around, so their secretaries and whatnot could just type this up exactly what they told them. They could even just call them, have the secretary type it up. It had already been signed, and out the door it went. So very cool piece of memorabilia here that was signed by both Les Paul and Mary Ford. It's a cool piece of Les Paul memorabilia. Not only am I a fan of the guitar, but of the man himself too. What an icon. He just created so many things for us. Sound on sound recording and multi-track record, just so many things. The first 8-track recording, the first solid body electric guitar. That's a whole other story where, yes, there was solid bodies before that, but if you really look into it, Les had the solid body and it just didn't get marketed before others did. But he was trying. A lot of people didn't take him seriously, and Gibson actually called him the broomstick guy when he first approached them. And then when Fender was having a lot of success with their solid bodies, they called him up and they said, let's go with it. So the first Les Paul came out in 1952. But again, that's for a whole other time. Today we are focusing on this great piece of Les Paul stationery right out of the archives here, and it's an honor for me to own this. Thank you for checking in, everyone. Please comment below. Do you have a Les Paul and Mary Ford story? Mary Ford was bad to the bone herself and just a heck of a guitar player. Obviously, got a little bit overshadowed there because of who she was performing with. But make no mistake, Mary was incredible, and Les actually told me that too. He said she was just bad to the bone. I mean, he would play stuff and kind of as a joke sometimes and expect her to not be able to play it back, and then he would about pass out when she would just play it back to him note for note. So man, the two of them together, what a team, what a couple, just absolutely incredible. And like I said, it's an honor to have this. But comment below if you have any Les Paul stories, even about the guitar, anything we're talking about today. Mary Ford, love, love, love this stuff and love interacting with all of you. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and help me out. You know I appreciate it. Find me on Facebook at Todd Beebe Music. And we will see you all again. Stay safe and love your dogs. Take care.